In one of the shady streets of New Orleans, Grace, a young writer, was going to stay alone for one night because her family was going on a short trip. But tonight would turn into an experience in which he would discover traces of a curse embedded in the city's history. The first night, Grace sat at her writing desk in silence. However, in his dream, he heard the sound of an ancient clock and felt that time itself was reversed. In her dream, one of the old witches of the city approached her, reminding her of a forgotten oath. On the second night, Grace continued to see the story of the old witch in her dream. The witch said that the cycle of time has been broken and the city has been polluted by a secret curse. Grace has made the decision to go on a mission under the guidance of the old witch to solve this curse. On the third night, Grace studied the old city map and began to trace the curse. Wandering through the streets, he found a forgotten fountain in the middle of an old square. An ancient inscription standing next to the fountain showed that the curse was connected with a past love story. On the fourth night, Grace tried to solve the curse by visiting old places in the city. At every step, the ghost of the old witch guided her. Grace began to reveal the love story behind the curse and the forgotten vow. On the fifth night, Grace returned to the fountain to perform the ritual proposed by the old witch. During the ritual, he felt that time had turned back and the influence of the curse had diminished. However, he realized that he needed to take more steps to completely break the curse. On the sixth night, Grace found the door of an ancient mausoleum in order to completely eliminate the curse. When he opened the door, he saw an old love story at the center of the curse. This story, full of love, sacrifice, and forgotten vows, was illuminated by Grace's courage and determination. On the seventh night, when his family returned, the atmosphere in the city had completely changed. Grace's efforts had brought peace and light to the city. The residents of the city approached Grace with gratitude and declared her a hero. Instead of the traces of the forgotten oath, it began to be remembered as a symbol of a new beginning in the city. At the end of a long road, away from the cosmopolitan atmosphere of New York, Jessica, a young woman, was going to stay alone for one night due to her family's weekend trip. But tonight, he would be enveloped by a secret hidden deep in the silent house, and he would bring Jessica face to face with a terrible truth. The first night, Jessica tried to fall asleep, feeling the silence. However, in his dream, he heard the sad cries of a child in an old room of the house. The boy's eyes were filled with a desperation that pierced Jessica's soul. Jessica felt that this dream was not just a dream. On the second night, Jessica opened the door of the old room in her dream. Behind the door, the ghost of a missing child appeared. The boy asked him to help Jessica and save her. Jessica, heeding this mysterious call, decided to find out about the child's past. On the third night, Jessica went on a journey deep into the house. He studied old family albums, researched the history of the missing child, and began to learn about the history of the town. History showed that the house had turned into an old orphanage, and the missing child had mysteriously disappeared. On the fourth night, Jessica sneaked into the old orphanage in her dream. The ghost boy showed him the tragic events he had experienced in the past. Jessica found out that the missing child was abused at the orphanage and somehow died. On the fifth night, Jessica made a deal with the ghost of the missing boy. The ghost boy needed your help to put an end to his past suffering and find peace. Jessica decided to boldly take steps to save the soul of the lost child and restore the ghost to freedom. On the sixth night, Jessica revealed the story of the boy who disappeared deep into the city. The ghost boy's soul was restored to peace after a long silence. The atmosphere inside the house has changed. A quiet tranquility has prevailed instead of the screams of the child. On the seventh night, when her parents returned, Jessica had an expression of peace on her face. The townspeople appreciated his courage and determination to help the ghost of the missing child. The silent scream in the depths of the house had now turned into a song of peace and healing. In a quiet suburb of Chicago, Alex, a young photographer, was going to stay alone for one night because his family was going on a short trip. But tonight would turn into an experience in which he would encounter a dark presence guided by a memory that remained hidden inside the house. The first night, Alex decided to spend in his room, feeling the silence. However, in his dream, he traced a shadow standing in front of an old mirror. The shadowy figure guided Alex to explore a memory from his past. On the second night, Alex studied old photo albums in his dream. The pictures in the albums were telling an old love story and a forgotten time. The shadowy figure said that this memory is about Alex's family and should reveal a truth. On the third night, Alex decided to investigate the past by visiting the old places of the town. He found a forgotten room in the basement of the house and discovered clues to the family's past in this room. The shadowy figure stated that this room contains information about a tragedy that happened in the past. On the fourth night, Alex studied old family diaries in his dream. The diaries revealed a secret in the family's past. The shadowy figure said that this secret is the source of the dark presence inside the house, and in order for this being to gain his freedom, he must reveal the truth. On the fifth night, Alex went after the dark presence inside the house. The entity traced the past behind the old mirror. By following these tracks, Alex discovers that the dark presence inside the house is actually a memory and is waiting for help to regain his freedom. On the sixth night, Alex revealed the truth of the past behind the old mirror. The souvenir represented an injustice in the family's past. Alex has resolutely stepped in to right this injustice and give peace to the memory. On the seventh night, when the family returned, the atmosphere in the house had completely changed. Alex's courage and determination dispelled the shadows in the family's past, and the house turned into a home of peace and healing. The townspeople appreciated Alex for his courage and saw that the memory inside the house was restored to peace.